We've had a really good year for rainfall this year, and we're really grateful for it, for helping to recover from the drought, and we've got plenty for cattle to eat, and you know, that's the good side of things. But the downside is, in some cases, we have built up fuel loads where wildfire can travel well once this stuff dries down. And then you see things like behind me, where in some cases we've got some big kochia weeds and Russian thistle, and those can be an even worse problem because they can tumble across the country, and particularly if we get in a wildfire with high winds, we can start scattering fire all over. And so we've got to be very careful about how we manage before, during, and after drought, what we do about fuel loads, and how do we manage wildfire danger. And there are a lot of things that we can do. One thing we can do is change the structure on these kochia weeds through grazing at the right time, through mowing, that sort of thing, so that we don't end up with them tumbling up into fence rows and creating a big fire danger, causing fences to blow down and that sort of thing. Another thing we can do is create some fire breaks around pastures so that if we have a wildfire, it will be on a smaller scale, and it can burn to those fire breaks and burn out. And so things like a light disking, if we have a feeding road, kind of either burning out or mowing out that center part where we have a wider non-vegetated strip, something like that. Another thing we can do is through grazing management, decreasing the overall fuel load, making it patchier where a fire that starts will not get the intensity and the momentum as it goes across the landscape. And in some cases, if we've got somebody who's really managing grazing to a high degree, we can go in and graze in fire breaks and that sort of thing. The other thing that we can do is to use prescribed fire to change fuel loads, to change structure, to change continuity of fuels across the landscape. A lot of people are really scared of prescribed fire. But the thing that you need to keep in mind, as we know from several years ago when we had the huge wildfires in this part of the country, this country has burned historically since the last ice age, pretty regularly. This country will burn. We have plenty of dry lightning fires. We have plenty of people smoking cigarettes still. We have plenty of automobiles that backfire or have bearings go out. The country will burn. What we need to concentrate on is, do we want to have any say in when, where, how hot, how fast, how big that fire is going to be? And the only way we can do that is to create a fire under prescribed conditions that will accomplish goals that we want. And so we need to look at putting fire on the landscape. We can manage vegetation. We can change the rate of encroachment by brushy species and weeds. We can freshen up decadent forage. We can do a lot of things with it. It's a tool in the toolbox. We just have to know how to use it safely.